Welcome to Deluxe. We explore the extraordinary phenomenon of Luxplosion, the cult of luxury brands that's taking the world by storm. We browse the stalls of a millionaire fair, take a look at celebrity branding, and count the cost of faking it. We also drop in on an auction where timeless luxury takes centre stage. Never before have so many new millionaires and billionaires lived outside of America and Europe. And these new ultra-rich shoppers are snapping up luxury goods like there's no tomorrow. Hong Kong now boasts more Gucci and Hermes stores than Paris, New York or London. But it's not only those with fabulously deep pockets who are trawling the stores. Amongst secretaries, personal assistants, businessmen and mums, accessorising with luxury brands has almost become a must. In Tokyo, over 90% of women in their 20s own a Louis Vuitton bag. And it's not uncommon for a young Chinese or Japanese woman to spend her entire month's wage on one luxury item. Vuitton and Gucci were among the first major brands to take advantage of this new craze, and getting in on the scene early has given them a major advantage. Many upmarket American brands are struggling to achieve the same sort of success, not least because many Asian consumers seem to favour the established European brands. Having a dedicated store is one of the most important factors in persuading the hungry Asian market that a particular brand has status. Rather than leave it to local licenses, big brands are realising they need to come down in person and open up a designer flagship store. Gucci designer Frida Giannini paid a personal visit to the opening of the Gucci store in Hong Kong. Her men's collection, called Young Frida's, was influenced by the timeless cool of Italian film. Gucci makes sure it's represented by the young and sophisticated.
Whether it's casual or formal, I like clothes that are simple, but with a little bit of details. Like this is just, it's simple, but they have like some lace details here, like little tricot and stuff. So I just love all these little things. So it's just so sexy and cute. You know, you have to look closely to see the details, and I like that.
Gucci also know that modern young men are just as interested as women in looking good. Men are increasingly aware that style denotes status, and status is all important in standing out in the crowd. I'm a fan of Gucci. Gucci's style fits me. It's elegant and wild. The clothes are great for both staying in and going out. I think the clothes emphasise my character, so I like Gucci very much. Despite rampant counterfeiting, French luxury goods maker Louis Vuitton continues to exude confidence in the Chinese market, as displayed by its impressive Beijing flagship store, which opened in 2005. With many wealthy Chinese wanting the real thing, Vuitton stores have gone from strength to strength, as the company trades on the desirability of their shoes, luggage and other products. The store itself is an important symbol to the potential consumer.
Through this house, you are in fact traveling through the Vuitton universe.
Giorgio Armani has opened a number of stores in China and Hong Kong. But in a trend that may see other companies following him, the Armani Group plans to move some of their manufacturing out of China in an effort to combat piracy. The Armani line is perhaps best known for its menswear, and Giorgio Armani himself has been named the most successful Italian designer ever. Certainly the status of his label has proved to be a great selling point in style-conscious modern China. Another designer label, whose products are keenly sought after, recently chose an unusual showcase. Chanel's iconic quilted handbag took centre stage in an exhibition called Mobile Art, which opened in Hong Kong. The show was housed in a futuristic white pavilion, and several international artists treated Chanel's bag to some colourful reinterpretations. One of the most enduring status symbols for a man is his car, and in modern China, it's increasingly common to see top luxury cars on the road. Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Ferrari and Lamborghini are all enjoying their best sales growth in a country that used to be ruled by the bicycle. Rolls-Royce only launched in the country in 2003, but China has swiftly become a very important market for the exclusive brand. In 2006, after a lot of development and success, China surpassed Japan as Asia's #1 market, and it also became the #3 market in the world. In 2007, sales grew by another 50%. Bentley, whose models start at just under $500,000 is also undergoing rapid growth in China. Test drives are usually not available, but knowing what it feels like to be behind the wheel is not always top priority. When I buy cars, I don't pay attention to the price. I look at the quality. Bentley makes handmade cars, and I love handmade things. Even my cigarettes are handmade. Crossover between hugely popular Hollywood films and the products they promote is one that many luxury goods manufacturers are keen to exploit. What is seen as exclusive becomes a highly sought-after commodity, and there is no one cooler than James Bond. Aston Martin launched into China in 2007, the very year that the British luxury car was named the coolest brand out of more than 500 leading UK products, making it the perfect time to introduce James Bond's favourite car to a status-conscious Asian market.
It's totally differentiated from its competitors. In terms of the product itself, does it work? Does it excel? Yes, it does. Does it look great? Do people desire it? Yes. It really ticks all the boxes there, and it's a very aspirational brand, and it's no surprise that it's not only #1, but it's #1 for the second year running.
Of course, the more available a luxury product becomes, the less exclusive and therefore the less desirable. But at prices ranging in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, luxury cars aren't likely to experience too much of a problem. Coming up, Luxplosion in Russia. The Iron Curtain turns to gold. A landmark in the luxury event calendar, the Millionaire Fair brings together some of the most expensive luxury products from around the world, all under one roof. This fair is on the outskirts of Moscow, but the prestigious event is also staged in Cannes, Belgium, China and Dubai, so millionaires of the world can choose their closest venue. According to the Russian edition of Forbes, Russia now has 25 billionaires and 88,000 millionaires, all in a country where almost a fifth of the population live below the poverty line. Entry is by invitation only, and over the 2 days of the fair, an estimated 10,000 of the world's wealthiest turned out to browse among the more than 200 stalls. Standout exhibits include glittering diamonds, top-grade cigars, vintage cars, a diamond-encrusted Mercedes, and exotic stuffed animals. As per usual, it's all about brand and status, and many of the more traditional luxury manufacturers are keen to find a place on the exhibition floor. Royal Delft, with a history dating from the 17th century, which includes royal patronage, offers a prestige which money can now buy.
The Russian market is a market which is booming, and where there's lots of people who have money enough to buy quality and beautiful stuff, and that's why we're coming to Russia.
Other luxury product manufacturers eschew the past and celebrate our modern lifestyle. And the exhibits included the Common Garden mobile phone, now transformed into a luxury item.
Goldfish is the most exclusive cell phone worldwide. It's a solid 18-karat golden cell phone with and without diamonds. And prices are starting from €18,500 till 1 million.
Among the bargains that could be snapped up was a Bugatti Veyron, the most expensive and reportedly the most polluting car in the world, which sold for $1.4 million. Many of the luxury items are made by companies who manufacture across the price range, from everyday items for the average consumer up to the most expensive top of the range, designed for the socially active millionaire. Here I can buy jewellery or nice expensive watches. But unfortunately, I cannot afford a helicopter or yacht. Fur remains a top luxury item for the Russian and Northern European ultra-rich. But surprisingly, 80% of the world's fur garments are produced in the balmy climate of Hong Kong. Russians have always loved their fur coats and still account for 50% of the global market. But, you guessed it, the Chinese market is also enjoying a boom as fur elbows its way back into high-status apparel. While anti-fur protesters cool down outside, insiders claim fur sales have jumped, with many major fashion houses now returning to fur and young designers breaking out of the traditional and playing with colour and style. Hong Kong is in a unique position to profit from an increased appetite for animal skins.
In terms of manufacturing, they've got something that the rest of the world hasn't got. They've got access to a pool of labour in China that is highly skilled. The labour in Western countries is aging. There isn't the capacity. So Hong Kong, has kind of grown into that position.
Just over the border from the booming economy of China, another populous and diverse country is seeing new wealth rapidly change spending habits. India's wildly expanding economy is producing a new class of cashed-up consumers, and Vogue is on hand to make sure they spend their money wisely. Vogue India recently opened its doors to join the other fashion and lifestyle magazines already on the stands.
It's kind of symbolic. I mean, at this moment, when you look at India, we are the largest breeders of millionaires. We are the largest breeders of billionaires. The economy is opening up. I think we're the fastest emerging free market economy. And as a result, if you see, we've become active participants on the world global market. Brands are coming in, foreign banks are coming in. I think with all of that happening, such a huge change taking place, it was about time that we had a product like Vogue, which kind of serves as a monitoring of the change in a country's culture. It monitors the pop trend, the trends in a country.
Vogue is following in the footsteps of many major fashion and luxury brands that are opening up stores in India. After years of having to go abroad to shop, Indian fashionistas can finally find something new and beautiful much closer to home. Many foreign media firms have been reluctant to make big investments in India, preferring to play it safe by opting for small stakes or licensing deals in a notoriously difficult market. Condé Nast is confident that India's appetite for luxury goods is a long way from being sated.
India has a history of, not just fashion, but music and film, culture of enjoying the better things in life. And I think we've had a lot to offer the world of luxury, for many years now. Over centuries ago, it's the royalty which was doing it. But today, I think the modern royalty is all about, modern technocrats and business people who are successful and doing well.
The ripples of Luxplosion have spread beyond the Far East, and Gap is yet another major fashion brand which now looks offshore for much of its profit. Gap appreciates that many fashion fans can't browse the boutiques of Paris, London or New York and need the fashion houses to come to them. Gap recently agreed to let Ripley, Chile's second largest department store, distribute several of its labels. Cindy Crawford was the face chosen to promote the public offering of Ripley shares as the chain store began its ambitious 3-year expansion plan. Consumer spending in Chile is up, and the fashionable are clamouring to buy what they see in magazines and on television. Cindy herself exemplifies the kind of easy American cool that is copied in many South American countries. As Ripley's is aware, models are the superstars in the fashion industry. Millions of consumers around the world model their own look on these celebrities, and they switch designers and accessories as the models themselves are wooed from one label to another. Gisele Bündchen, a Brazilian model, has been the top earning model for a number of years, with a salary that many businessmen would envy. With her annual fee at over 30 million, she easily outperforms the world's number 2 earning model, Kate Moss, who pocketed just under 10 million. Gisele has more contracts than any other model, and the labels she's modelled for include Dior, Balenciaga, Dolce & Gabbana and Versace. Her recent split from Victoria's Secret was a very public one, but she has maintained it was due to her needing a change. Kate Moss, at 33, has shown an amazing longevity and an ability to survive scandal. No doubt aware that her face may not make her fortune for much longer, Kate recently launched her own label at Topshop, a British retailer which has proved hugely popular. Victoria's Secret has no problem attracting the most beautiful women to its campaigns, and 2 of its current models are listed in the top 10, including Adriana Lima and Alessandra Ambrosio. Other models in the top 10 include Heidi Klum, Carolyn Murphy, who's the face of Estee Lauder, and Australian Gemma Ward. However, the job may not be as easy as it looks, as Adriana Lima suggests.
For me, I woke up today at 6 o'clock in the morning. You know, I had to moisturize my body because I always like to do, I have to shave, okay? You don't want any monkeys in the runway, of course. I'm joking.
Coming up, the real thing, the fight against fake. While luxury sales have been threatened in Europe and America, the global financial crisis has barely dented Chinese high-end spending habits. Luxury shopping has become a form of recession therapy for many image-conscious Chinese. During times of economic hardship, luxury goods let Chinese people project a successful image and boost their self-confidence. Italian designer brand Versace recently held its first fashion show in China as part of an aggressive push into the Asian market. Versace is looking at the strong demand for its fashion goods in Asia to help it weather the global economic turmoil. Even stuffy old auction houses are realising the increasing desire for luxury items. And the traditional gentlemen's sales of antiques are for gentlemen alone no more. Bonham's Auction House recently put together a sale that caters to women and men buying for women who are in love with beautiful, exclusive things. Bonham's is located close to Bond Street in London, one of the biggest retail streets in Europe, and they are hoping that women who love to shop will step in for a preview.
We have haute couture, we have jewellery boxes, we have a big collection of crocodile. Crocodile is very difficult to get today, and these were things that were made 50 or 60 years ago. Obviously jewellery, everybody loves jewellery, and wristwatches. And there's some sort of funky things as well, like Robbie Williams' smart car, and some fun things like little compacts at, for 100 to 150 pounds. So the price range is from very little to tens of thousands, and I'm sure there's something here for everybody.
Included in the goods up for sale are exclusive pieces by top designers Vivienne Westwood and Christian Lacroix. Jewellery is perhaps one of the most obvious ways of displaying wealth, and at a recent jewellery auction at eminent auction house Christie's, royal jewellery went up for sale, proving that yes, everything does have its price. Royal fortunes may wax and wane, but diamonds, as Marilyn Monroe sang, are a girl's best friend. And the opportunity to buy rare jewellery is one that millionaires and collectors can't afford to miss. The stunning centrepiece of the Italian jewels on offer was an antique diamond tiara from 1890, whose value is estimated at around $1 million US. This rare piece is an excellent example of Fabergé craftsmanship. There was also the wonderful blue diamond, discovered in Scotland only recently, by someone who had no idea what it was. While the average person may see such extravagant purchases as an investment, the typical Christie's customer is more interested in showing off.
In our last sale, for instance, we had buyers from 28 countries, and in my experience, the vast majority of people buy them to wear. That's why they like the jewels. But occasionally you get some pieces of Cartier which are collector's items, and so they just form a collection. But no, they certainly People buy them to actually put on around their neck or on their ears or on their fingers.
With their globally expanding interest in luxury goods, manufacturers find themselves in an increasingly tricky battle to stamp out cheap copies. Because luxury goods are so linked with status, those who cannot afford the real thing are only too happy to settle for a fake. Everything that can be copied will be copied, often in dangerous backyard working conditions that exploit workers. The EU recently held a summit in Brussels in order to raise awareness of the huge human and economic cost of counterfeits. Among the attendees was English supermodel Yasmin Le Bon.
But I feel definitely concerned, and I feel that I should be involved, because as part of an industry where we're led by designers, luxury brands, music as well. I'm married to a musician. You know, I think this all maybe started with DVDs and music being pirated, and it's just exploded basically into something quite different.
On display at the summit was a startling array of fakes, from common DVDs, which find their way into many tourist shopping bags, through to a Ferrari made in Thailand. Valerie Salembier of Harper's Bazaar magazine gives a reminder of why exclusive is exclusive.
That is not talked about very often, really, is the creative process. There is a reason that luxury products are expensive. You are paying for creative design and the designer's time and vision. And luxury companies spend hundreds of millions of dollars really trying to protect their designers.
Louis Vuitton is more than aware that the extreme popularity of its accessories keeps counterfeiters in work. The company is determined to keep the pressure on Chinese authorities to stamp out fakes.
The law being there, the key question is how to enforce it. And we must say that we've seen considerable progress recently in the implication of the authorities to have the laws enforced.
At British Customs, officials are used to uncovering cleverly and not so cleverly disguised fakes. Every year, millions of pounds worth of counterfeit goods are seized at ports and terminals across Britain. Here, rolls of counterfeit designer labels are all ready to be attached to poor quality clothing, which is then sold for much more than it's worth. Cheap t-shirts will not harm the wearer, but a tainted alcoholic drink will.
On several occasions now we've seized large quantities of whiskey and other spirits, and when we've had it analysed we've found that the whiskey itself contains large quantities of industrial strength methylated spirits, methanol. Now if you drink that and drink a lot of it, the chances are it will actually make you go blind. I mean, it is quite a very, very serious risk to one's health.
The low cost of a fake is always tempting, but for the millions caught up in the phenomenon of luxplosion, it's the real thing that buys them entry to a social class their parents could only have dreamed of.